It's 11:47 p.m. on a Tuesday and you're lying in bed staring at your banking app. Not because you can't sleep, but because you're doing the math again. You move $40 from checking to savings. You move it back. There's a charge you forgot about. You close the app. You open it again. And the feeling that hits you isn't even panic anymore. It's just tired. That quiet, bone-deep tired of knowing exactly how this month is going to end before it even starts. If that hit close to home, stay with me, because you're not alone, and you're not broken. I'm Jake, and a few years ago I was doing the exact same thing. Paycheck in, money gone, no idea where it went. I wasn't spending on anything crazy. I just never had anything left. Nobody ever sat me down and explained how any of this actually worked, and I had to figure it out the hard way so you don't have to. In this video, I'm walking you through 7 money mistakes that quietly keep most people stuck, and I'm showing you exactly how to fix each one this week. Not next year. Not when you earn more. This week with what you already have. These aren't complicated tips. They're simple shifts that actually work, whether you're just starting out or starting over. And by the end of this video, you're going to know which mistakes are costing you the most and what to do about them today. If that's what you've been looking for, hit subscribe right now so you don't miss the rest of this series. I drop new videos every week, and it only gets more useful from here. Let's get into it. Before we get into the mistakes, I need to say something important, and I really need you to hear this. It's not your fault. That's not just something I'm saying to make you feel better. I mean it literally. Nobody sat you down in school and taught you how money actually works. Nobody explained credit card interest or why saving a little bit early beats saving a lot later, or how to stop living paycheck to paycheck. That class didn't exist. And for most people, it still doesn't. Here's a number that says it all. A 2023 study by the TIAA Institute found that only 57% of Americans could answer basic money questions correctly. And that number drops even lower for people under 35. More than half the country is trying to win a game nobody taught them how to play. And the system? It's not set up to help you figure it out. Overdraft fees, minimum payment traps, subscriptions that quietly renew every month. These things make money when you're confused. The less you know, the more they earn. That's not an accident. That's a business model. So if you've been hard on yourself, telling yourself you're bad with money, that you have no discipline, that other people have it figured out and you just don't, I want you to let that go right now. Because that story isn't true. This isn't a you problem. It's an information problem. And the good news about information problems is simple, they have solutions. That's exactly what we're getting into next. Now before I walk you through the 7 mistakes, I want to explain something that most finance videos skip completely. Because if you understand this one idea, everything else is going to make a lot more sense. Every single mistake on this list works the same way. It lives in the gap between what you plan to do with your money and what you actually end up doing. You intend to save. You don't. You intend to check your spending. You forget. You intend to deal with that credit card. Next month. Then the month after that. Behavioral economists have a name for this. They call it the intention-action gap. And it has nothing to do with laziness or willpower. It's just how the human brain handles decisions that feel important but not urgent. Your brain keeps filing them under, I'll get to that. And that folder never seems to empty. The fixes in this video work because they close that gap. They take the good intention out of your hands and make it happen automatically. So the right thing gets done even when you're tired, stressed, or just not thinking about it. Think of it like the difference between a paper map and GPS. Both can get you where you're going. But only one of them keeps working when you get distracted, take a wrong turn, or stop paying attention for a few minutes. That's what we're building here. Not a system that requires you to be perfect. A system that works even when you're not. Let's get into the mistakes. Alright, let's get into it. 7 mistakes, 7 fixes. Let's go one by one. Mistake number 1 is spending without tracking. When you don't know where your money goes, you're not managing it, you're guessing. But the moment you write it down, every dollar becomes a choice. And choices can change. 1 week of tracking is often enough to find $100 or more leaking out quietly. A lot of people discover they're paying $190 a month on subscriptions they completely forgot about. Mistake number 2 is saving whatever's left at the end of the month. Here's the truth. There's never anything left. Life fills the gap every single time. The fix is to pay yourself first. Set up an automatic transfer of even $50 on payday before you touch anything else. That's $600 saved by the end of the year without making a single decision. Mistake number 3 is carrying high-interest debt while trying to save at the same time. If you're paying 24% interest on a credit card and earning 4% in a savings account, you're losing money every month. A $2,000 balance at 24% with minimum payments takes 11 years to clear and costs you $3,000 in interest alone. Attack the highest rate first. Mistake number 4 is having no emergency fund. Without one, every unexpected bill becomes new debt. 3 months of expenses sounds like a lot, so don't start there. Start with $500. That one small buffer stops most financial emergencies from ever touching a credit card. Mistake number 5 is lifestyle creep. Every time your income goes up, your spending goes up to match, and your savings stay exactly the same. The fix is simple. When you get a raise, redirect half of it to savings before you get used to it. A $200 monthly raise split down the middle puts $1,200 into savings this year automatically. Mistake number 6 is skipping your employer's 401k match. If your company matches your contributions and you're not hitting that threshold, you are turning down part of your salary. On a $40,000 income with a 3% match, that's $1,200 a year you're leaving on the table. At minimum, contribute enough to get every dollar of that match. Mistake number 7 is waiting until you have enough to start investing. You don't need thousands. Most apps today let you start with $5 through something called fractional investing, where you buy a small piece of a stock instead of a whole share. And here's why starting now matters more than starting big. Someone who begins investing at 25 ends up with roughly double the money at retirement compared to someone who waits until 35, even if they put in the exact same amount every month. Time does the heavy lifting, but only if you start. I want to show you something that might actually stop you in your tracks. Because talking about money habits is one thing, but seeing what they're worth in real numbers is something else entirely. Let's look at 2 people. Same age, same starting point, same income. The only difference is what they do next. Person A keeps meaning to start saving. They want to, they plan to, but they're waiting until things settle down a little, until they earn more, until the timing feels right. So for the next 10 years, they save nothing. Person B decides to start today. Not with a huge amount. Just $100 a month, moved automatically on payday, invested at a 7% average annual return, which is a realistic long-term figure based on historical market performance. That's it. $100 a month. No raises. No extra contributions. Just consistency. In 10 years, person B has $17,400. In 30 years, that same $100 a month has grown to over $121,000. Person A has 0. Let that sit for a second. We're not talking about some massive investing strategy. We're talking about the cost of a few takeout meals a month. And the gap between the 2 people isn't talent, income, or discipline. It's simply the decision to start. The money doesn't grow because you're smart. It grows because time multiplies whatever you put in, and the longer it runs, the faster it builds. That's compounding working in your favor. Now I know what some of you are thinking right now, because I hear it all the time, and it's the most honest pushback I get. Jake, this sounds great, but I can barely cover my bills. I don't have $100 a month to save. I don't even have $50. And I want to be straight with you. That's real. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that everyone watching this has $100 just sitting around waiting to be moved. For a lot of people, that number feels impossible. And if that's where you are right now, I see you. But here's what I need you to understand. This system doesn't require $100. It works at $50. It works at $20. It even works at $5. Because the number is not the point, not yet. The habit is the point. Think about it this way. When you train yourself to save automatically, no matter how small the amount, you are building a muscle. And that muscle doesn't disappear when your income grows. It gets stronger. The habit you build today on $10 a month is the exact same habit that will move $500 a month when you get there. The amount follows the habit. It always does. So don't wait until you can save the right amount. Start with whatever you can. Even $5 transferred automatically on payday is proof that you are someone who saves. And that identity, that shift in how you see yourself, is where everything else begins. Before we wrap up, I want to tell you about Marcus. Marcus was 29 years old and working 2 jobs. Not because he wanted to, because he had to. And every time he watched a video about money or read an article about saving, it felt like the person talking lived in a completely different world. A world with a safety net. A world where there was already something left over at the end of the month to work with. He almost didn't try, but he did. He started small because small was all he had. $25 moved automatically on payday. A Saturday afternoon going through his subscriptions and canceling the ones he'd forgotten. An extra $30 a month thrown at his highest interest credit card. That was it. Nothing dramatic. Nothing that would impress anyone. 8 months passed. He hadn't paid off his debt. He hadn't hit some big savings goal. By most measures, nothing had changed. Then one afternoon he got a flat tire on the way home from his second job. He pulled over, called a tow truck, paid the bill, and drove home in a quiet he hadn't felt in years. No spiral. No mental math. No moving money around at midnight trying to make it work. Just calm. And sitting in his car in the driveway, he had one thought that stopped him completely. This is the first time something went wrong and I didn't panic. That was the moment everything changed. Not a number. A feeling. That's what this is really about. So let's bring it all together. Track your spending so you can actually see where your money goes. Automate your savings so it moves before you get a chance to spend it. Attack your highest interest debt first so you stop paying more than you have to. Build a $500 emergency buffer before you do anything else, because without it, every surprise becomes a setback. When you get a raise, split it in half for your life right now, half for the future you are building. Make sure you're contributing enough to your 401k to get every dollar of your employer match, because that money is already yours. And start investing something today, even if it's just $5, because time is the one thing you can't buy back. Here's the one idea I want you to take away from all of this. Building wealth isn't really about earning more money. Most people think that's the answer, but it's not. It's about losing less. Less to forgotten subscriptions. Less to high interest. Less to waiting, hesitating, and habits that were never really yours to begin with. Plug the holes first. Then watch what happens. Now I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me which of these 7 mistakes you're fixing first. Especially if it's one you didn't even realize was costing you. Those are the ones that matter most. And if this video helped you, subscribe. We're just getting started.